So let's start at the beginning, and I mean really the beginning. This is a big week for our company. We're turning 90.
We just turned 90 last Saturday.
Yeah. But do me a favor.
It was May 20th,
Yeah.
1927. My dad opened the root beer stand the same day that Lindbergh flew the Atlantic. And he met Lindbergh once, and he told Lindbergh, he said, "We started in business on the same day, but you got all the publicity."
But talk a little bit about that time, because what's fundamental to our company started in that root beer stand, and that's our culture.
Well, I did. I think my dad and mom were working in the root beer stand, and one of the employees failed to show up one day, and they said, "Hey, we better start taking better care of our people so they come to work every day." And that was established 90 years ago, our belief: take good care of the people, they'll take good care of the customer, and the customer will come back. We were in and out of 19 different businesses, growing the company at 20% a year when we finally focused on the lodging business. And as already been said, we have the largest lodging company in the world now.
That's amazing. I think you have a wonderful story about watching your dad live the value of taking care in a hotel. You might have been waiting for a meeting with him, and he stopped to speak with somebody. Do you remember that story?
He always did. We'd go into a hotel lobby, and he'd see the lobby housekeeper, and we were on our way to a meeting at one time, and he sat down on the couch with the lobby housekeeper and said, "How's it going?" And she said, "Not well." So he got the general manager over, and they had a little conversation. The general manager changed a few of his management practices, and things went much better after that for this particular housekeeper.
Okay, the Starwood merger, probably one of the biggest deals in the company's history, the biggest deal, you know. And I think that it would be so interesting to folks to hear, just pull back the curtain a bit. Talk about how you felt when you heard about the deal and that process for you.
Well, you know, we were doing great. We were generating about $2 billion a year of free cash flow. We were buying our stock back. We were growing 15 to 20% a year. Arnie walked into my office and said, "I think we should buy Starwood." I said, "Well, why in the world do we want to do that?" I said, "Things are going great." And then I thought about the fact that I've been preaching for years that success is never final. You got to keep moving ahead and doing things that are exciting and taking some risk, and we did. And it's worked out fine so far. We're thrilled to be part of an organization now that's the largest in the world with Starwood, and it's going great. Thanks.
Now, what about your parents? What do you think they'd say? I mean, 9-seat root beer stand in 1927, over 6,100 properties around the world today.
I think they'd be very proud. My father was very debt averse, risk averse, and when he looked at the balance sheet today and saw $9 billion of debt, I think he would have had a stroke.
But once he got over that, he would. All right, so.
What else do you want to talk about?
I'm only 18 months on the job. I don't know. I've got to make it off the stage. Okay, so I think that a lot of folks in this room would probably agree that one of the things that can be risky to a culture is rapid growth. And certainly we've seen that at the company over the last few years, but particularly since September and Starwood. How do you keep a culture alive in an organization that's growing as quickly as ours?
Well, I've already said it's a 90-year consistent message that we've been putting out. We have to continue to walk the talk. You know, we have to say, this is what we believe in. It's propelled us for 90 years. We're going to continue to take good care of our people. And that means that we really have to provide opportunities for our associates to grow. And we have to teach them how to take advantage of these opportunities. I'm thrilled with the fact that 50% of our hotel general managers started in hourly positions. And we're opening so many hotels now. We're opening one hotel every 14 hours, almost 2 a day around the world. And if that doesn't provide a lot of opportunities for our people in the hotels, then shame on us. You know, 50% of our business, more now than 50% of our new development is outside the United States. We have 225,000 rooms underdeveloped outside the United States, and either in construction or in contract. So we got a lot going on out there and a lot of opportunities to provide opportunity for our people.
And that's really what it comes down to. It's listening and having opportunity for associates. Let's talk a little bit about best places to work in this prestigious list. We've had the honor of being on it for 20 years. I'd love to ask you your perspective. How important is that to you, to the company? And then let's talk a little bit about the qualities that land you on a list like this. What does it take to be in these leadership positions? So
well,
it's a two-parter.
It's a real thrill and very humbling to be on the list for 20 years. And it's a lot of work on the part of a lot of people, living our culture, putting people first, doing the right thing for our associates. But I think one of the most important things in helping you establish your company and your business is to use those 4 wonderful words, what do you think? I remember back in 1954, I was in the Navy. I'd just come home for Christmas leave, and my dad and mother had President Eisenhower down to our family farm. And Ike loved to shoot birds, as you all know, and so we stocked the fields with lots of quail for him to shoot. But it was too cold. It was 20 degrees, the wind was blowing, it was in December, and so we were standing around the fireplace talking about should we go out in the cold or what should we do. The president turned around and looked at me. Here I am, the lowest officer in the United States Navy. He was a 5-star general, the commander-in-chief, saying, what do you think we should do, Bill? And I stumbled and stuttered, and I said, it's too cold outside, stay in. So we did. And I thought about that for a long time. I said, you know, that's how he got along with all those egomaniacs he was dealing with over there in Europe. Patton, you know, and Montgomery and de Gaulle, and some of those guys would drive anybody crazy. But he got through it, and he got through it, I think, by letting them know that he was on the same page with them in many instances, asking what they believed. They knew they were participating, and that's the key, is getting people to participate in the decisions that affect them.
I think one of the other things that you told me, I had the opportunity to talk to Mr. Marriott last week, and I said, what are you doing in your downtime? Do you have any downtime? Talked a little bit about reading, but sort of what gets you in the office every single day?
Well, I think it's the people in the company. I told them at a meeting last week with several of our associates. They asked me what my hobbies are, and I said the business is my hobby, and my family and my church. And I said, but as far as my hobby is concerned, it's interacting with our wonderful associates around the world. I love them, I appreciate them, I'm anxious to see them progress and grow and have opportunities.
And so we're sitting here on the almost 90th anniversary, or the 90th anniversary of our company. Where do you see this all headed in 90 years, and what are those qualities that'll get us there?
For the next 90 years?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm sure not going to be around again. I think we continue to walk the talk. I think we have to continue to tell everybody how important our people are, provide opportunities for them to grow. And I think it's very important for any leader to leave his ego at the door. You know, Ronald Reagan had a little sign on his desk that said, I can get anything done I want as long as I don't care who takes the credit. And so I think when we think about ego, we must think about the fact that we are here to serve others, not to serve ourselves. And so it's very, very, very important that we listen to people, that we listen and learn, and we ask that question, what do you think of our folks? Get them on the same page. Really have an opportunity to react with all our people. We hired a very attractive guy to run one of our divisions back before we totally focused on hotels. Attractive, smart, well-spoken, and he came into the job, didn't understand the division he was running very well. Shame on us, but anyway, after a while, I found out he wasn't listening to his people. He never asked their opinion. He never got them on a consensus basis. And finally, he'd go in the office in the morning, nobody would show up to talk to him, and he lost his people. And finally, we encouraged him to share his abilities with somebody else.
Which sometimes happens.
Yeah, that sometimes happens.
It's about passion, and you have passion every single day for this industry and for this company that you've built. And it's just a pleasure to sit here with you.
Thank you.
On the 20th time being on this wonderful list on our 90th anniversary. I can't think of any place I'd rather be.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for all your support, all of you in the audience. Thank you very much.
Thank you.